Okay, so let's look at this. What we would do here. First of all, simplify the difference quotient. We need to set up the difference quotient. So I'm just going to write the function, leaving a blank instead of the x, and minus, putting parentheses, x squared plus 2x minus 3. So what we're doing is we're taking the f of x plus h minus the f of x, and we're putting that all over h. So this is going to be x plus h. Okay? Now, here's where you have to be careful on these ones. You have to be careful that you remember to put in the minus 3 there, because oftentimes it's easy to forget that because you're doing x plus h squared plus 2x plus h, and it's easy to leave off the constant there. And also remember, when you're minusing off the function, put a parenthesis around the entirety of the function, like this. Okay? So, now, here's what we've got. Now we've got to go back and we've got to multiply, do all of our multiplying. Now remember, the tendency is, if you're going to make a mistake, a lot of times students will make a mistake by saying, okay, this x plus h squared is going to be x squared plus h squared, but it's not. You multiply this out, x plus h times x plus h, and you're going to get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. So we just, if we can avoid the common mistakes, we'll be, off to the races. Then we multiply through here. So we've got 2x plus 2h. Okay? And then don't forget the minus 3. And then minus x squared minus 2x minus 3. Okay.
Why wouldn't the last 3 be positive?
Oh, it would be positive. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. See? I'm glad that happened. It shows you how you can mess up, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was distracted there. I gotta watch out for that. Thank you very much. Okay. Anything else? Now, once you do that, you'll notice some things start to cancel. See, we've got the 2x, the 2x, and notice this 3 cancels with this negative 3. The good thing about this is that, I'd first call that negative 3. That's a mistake that you'll catch when you start noticing that it doesn't cancel, because it should cancel unless there was a mistake like I made. So this is 2xh plus h squared plus 2h all over h. And then we factor out the h. And that will cancel with the bottom. And at that point, we're done. That's as far as we're going to go with it. Now, later on, we're going to explore what would happen if h got infinitesimally small. But right now, this is as far as we're going. We're just kind of simplifying the difference quotient up to that point. Now let's look at another type. So we've got that one. Now let's look at, well, what happens if we've got a radical? So what we want to do is we want to simplify the difference quotient for that function. So I'll pause a minute and let you work on that. Okay, so let's set this up. Here's the difference quotient. In place of x, I'll put x plus h minus, just the function all over h. Now, this is the initial setup. Now remember, there's a trick to this. We would like to divide this h out of the bottom, but we can't right now because the h is all locked away inside this radical. But the way we can get rid of the radical and liberate that h is we multiply by the conjugate. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take x plus h plus 1 plus x plus 1 and I do that to the top and the bottom. I can't just do it to the top, but if I do it to the top and the bottom, it's like I'm multiplying by 1. See? And there's no harm in that. Now, the reason I do that now is if I multiply this out, what I get is I get the first thing squared. I get this. The square root of x plus h plus 1 squared is just x plus h plus 1 minus the second thing squared. The squaring just gets rid of that radical. And then I've got this bottom. Like that. Okay. Now, if we do the algebra up top, notice we get x plus h plus 1 minus x minus 1. And some things cancel. These x's, these 1's. And now we just got h over this thing. And at this point, the h's will cancel. And we have our finished result. We just get 1 over x plus h plus 1 plus square root of x plus 1. There we go. And that's finished. Okay. Are there any questions about that one? So notice we've got these two different types of functions for the difference quotient. This one, where it's just like, just very simple little polynomial here. And then we've got here a square root. And then there's another one that we looked at, and that is where we have something like 1 over x plus 5, let's say. Okay? So take a minute and try that one. Remember, there's a trick to that one, that type as well. Okay, so we set up the difference quotient. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay. Now, what we've got is we've got this problem of the h's in the denominator up here. We would like to not have that situation. We would like to have a situation where we could have, hopefully get to the point where we would have an h up here that would cancel with this one down here. But right now, these h's are, this h is in the denominator. So what we want to do is we want to think of a way to get rid of that. The way we can do that is we can multiply through every term by the common denominator. Okay? So here's what we've got. Just think about the product of these things. X plus 5, x plus h plus 5. We want to multiply every term by that. This one, and this one. All three terms. Now, if we do that, look what happens. We've got x plus h plus 5. And I multiply that by x plus 5, x plus h plus 5. Okay. Then I do the same thing over here. I've got 1 over x plus 5. I multiply by x plus 5, x plus h plus 5. Now I do that. If I do that to the top, I've got to do it to the bottom. See? Now the reason I did that is because look what's going to happen. All of these extra denominators are going to be divided out. And now dig this. Here's what happens. Up top we've got x plus 5, see, right there, minus x plus h plus 5. And then down in the bottom we've got all of this. Now, you have to resist the temptation here to cancel. You can't divide anything out yet. Like, I have this x plus 5 here. I can't divide it with that. because this x plus 5 is held to this x plus h plus 5 with this negative. And I can't break that bond. Okay? What I'm going to have to do is see if I can simplify this top to the point where I just have one term up here, one factor with an h in it that will divide with this h down here. So I want to clear my parentheses. I've got x plus 5 minus x minus h minus 5. Now, dig what happens. These x's cancel, these 5's cancel, and I'm just left with a negative h up there, which will divide with that. And now I've got negative 1 over x plus 5 times x plus h plus 5. And there we have it. So look, when it comes to the difference quotient, we've got these basic ones right here, just like, just very simple terms like this, a polynomial. And then we've got the radicals, the square roots. And then we've got the rational function. Okay? We've got just something with a variable in the denominator. And with each one of these, we have a trick. Okay? Now, are there any